Hello and welcome to another episode of Ahead of the Curve.
Wait. It's my job this week.
What do you mean it's your job this week?
Welcome to Ahead of the Curve, where Geoff's wife, Suzanna, that's me, interviews him.
Unbelievable.
I know. You knew this was going to happen one day. Poor Geoff.
I did.
We hope that you enjoy this special episode where I help Geoff delve into his past and we talk about some of the favorite things about Ahead of the Curve and what his passions are.
She's nothing but trouble.
Not only that, but I do get a chance to pick on him a reasonable amount. We had a lot of fun with this one, so I hope that you enjoy it. Let's get started.
Check it out.
Welcome to another live chat on Ahead of the Curve. Today, I'm not Geoffrey Platt. I am Suzanna, and I'm Geoff's wife, and I am interviewing Geoff for a very special session. I think Geoff's a little nervous because I've not told him exactly what I'm going to ask him, but we're glad that you're here joining us for the chat.
I think I have every right to be nervous.
You probably do. Yeah.
So for the record, this is the first time that my wife has been able to kind of have me in front of a camera, and I'm at her mercy.
Yeah.
So
this is going to be fun. So throughout this session, feel free to ask us any questions. You can ask questions that you would like me to ask Geoff. That could always be fun. Let's make them sweat. All right. Well, to start off with, I wanted Geoff to tell us a little bit about what he does now for work and, all that fun stuff. What do you do now, babe?
Well, I work for a company called 7 Cents that's based out of the UK. I am working there full-time as their product manager for a new upcoming product, focusing on some new media server technology and new video technology and focusing on a lot of the stuff that we talk about on the show.
What do you like about that job?
I really enjoy being able to explore new technologies. I really enjoy the ability to look into what's coming up next and really kind of talk to a lot of different professionals and people about what they're working on and the challenges that they face and trying to figure out, how we can make better products and how we can make better workflows for them.
It's your future brain. You always like the research in the future, right? New stuff. So what has brought you to this place? Oh, hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
What has brought you to this place in your career? Can you tell us just kind of some highlights of what types of jobs you've done in the industry in the past?
So like so many others that have been on the show, I started in theater and fell in love with theater. And from there, a lot of my teachers always said that I should be on the stage, and they were trying to push me into a career path of being an actor. I've never been really good, or never felt really good about being on stage and in front of a lot of people. So I fell passionately in love with the behind the scenes stuff in theater and worked primarily as a lighting and sound designer and technician, of course. And then I slowly just started working my way up from there and found myself inside of the video industry, working for different video manufacturers.
And then you fell passionately in love with me, right?
Sure.
Yes, good answer. If he goes missing, then you know who did it. So one of the things that I love to learn about Geoff that I don't get to hear enough, because it just doesn't come up very often, are some of the fun projects and gigs that he worked on in the past. Can you tell me, what would your top 3 favorite projects or gigs that you've done during your career?
So I actually have a few pictures to share with everyone here. I always say that the gigs are never about the scale and the size of what you're doing, but it's about the people that you work with. And, you always kind of build a behind the scenes kind of family. There's so many people that it takes to be able to put these things together. And it's just so important to be able to have those bonds and those tight connections with those people that you work with. And it also just forms a tremendous support group. So I would say that a lot of the gigs that I've worked on that I hold and cherish really close to my heart are some of those where I just had the best working experience, with the people that I was working with. I've always been the kind of guy that is kind of plunged headfirst into using new technology. in a lot of cases, speccing new technology that I've never even used before and had to try and figure out how to use it on site. I remember one show in particular where I got this brand new lighting console. It was called the Jan's Vista when it came out, and a few of the folks that I know very well will be able to relate to this.
Old one, huh?
Yeah, it's an old one.
Was it like powered by candles? I have to make fun of you. It's my job.
Oh, that's just me.
Good.
But yeah, this lighting desk was brand new on the market. It had just come out. It was built by a company out of Australia. And instead of learning how to use it before doing the gig, which I really should have done, I learned how to use it while I was on job site. And while I was in between programming sessions, I literally had the manual on my lap, and I was skipping through pages, learning how to use that lighting desk while I was doing the show. So it was really nerve-wracking. I don't suggest it to anybody, but that was the way that I kind of learned. I just threw myself into the fire, and I still do that today, as you already know.
All the time. All the time. Oh, hey, Christy. See, Christy said hi.
Hey, Christy.
Christy's awesome. She is like our amazing marketing person in the background.
Yeah, who's been on fire recently. It's been awesome.
She helps us actually stay connected and interact when life is so busy. So thank you, Christy. Oop. Now, did you say that you had some pictures?
I did, yes. Sorry.
Okay. I can add
so
it.
I'm just going to share here. Whoop, sorry.
I just said, you had to let me drive.
All right.
You're terrible at letting me lead.
So this is Kayla. This is our daughter.
My stepdaughter.
Yeah,
yep.
Of 10 years. And this is her in front of a lighting console for the first time. So I just thought it would be a fun little picture to share that you can never be too young to start.
She still likes mixing music and stuff like that.
She does. I'm going to see if I can. Oh, I can't change pictures right now for some reason.
I thought you were good with technology.
Technical difficulties, folks. I can't even run a photo app.
I thought you were good with technology, honey.
Oh,
what happened?
I don't know.
You jumped in without testing.
Yeah. All right, so this is our daughter, and this is her learning how to use a console. So I'm going to try bringing this back up one more time. Let's try.
Ooh, that's cool.
Let's see if we can share this. All right, let's try that. All right, do we see that?
Yeah.
So this was a show that took place, actually, I believe, in 2013, just to age it a little bit. So I think 7-8 years ago. And it was for a customer that I had done many shows for. This took place in New Orleans, and there was a lot of moving parts that were going on in here. The people that were producing the show wanted to have moving platforms, and they wanted to have parts of the scenery moving. So you could see the screens that are upstage, those actually went up and down underneath so that people could come out from behind them. And then the big circular part that's up in the air was actually a floating stage, and that floating stage would elevate and come down at different parts during the show. So it was really challenging. And then the little, they look like Christmas lights that are strung off to the right and left sides. Those were also a new product that had come out. I think it was called Soft LED or something. And of course, I decided I wanted to put video on it. So I jumped in headfirst into that and put little video pixels on it. It was kind of like more of a proof of concept, kind of an idea while doing a show. And I think that's like something that's important too for a lot of people that are working in production is you also don't be afraid to explore, new ideas and technologies, even on site, because sometimes it's the only time you're going to get a chance. Like a lot of the stuff is crazy expensive. So you might not have an opportunity to be able to, get it ahead of time to try it out. It might be the only place you could test it out. Yeah. So I tried to do it kind of in a more safe way, And then this was one that we did for the Comedy Network for BET. This one was a lot of fun. It was a small show, but I had a really great time in Vegas. And as I was mentioning before, a lot of the fun parts about doing these shows is working with the people that you really love and building up this family. So I wanted to see if there we go. So
I know that face.
He's going to kill me for this, but
that's awesome.
This is my really good friend, Noah. I went to school with him. He owned a lighting company in Atlanta called Full Circle Lighting.
He will literally go through a storm for Geoffrey, which he did for our wedding.
He literally
He was
did.
the best man. Aww.
So, yeah, I mean, Noah has been a dear friend of mine throughout a really large chunk of my lifetime now. And, he invited me out to work with him on this show. And it was just so much fun. We had a great time. We, of course, got into a whole bunch of trouble because we were in Vegas. But it was just a whole lot of fun. We had a really, really good time.
It's your work family.
Yeah, it's my work family.
And there's your home family with the little one again.
Family, little one again. And then, being able to work, again, alongside of stars and working in the music industry, I've been able to work on a lot of different shows with a lot of different artists, and a lot of it, behind the scenes, sometimes up front working with them directly, and a lot of times also working with them indirectly. And this case, actually, the big Next sign at the top, that was all custom built out of a shop in Toronto. These were LED tube lights called Versatubes. Some of you guys might actually know what those are.
If you guys remember Versatubes, let us know.
They were a real pain in the butt, but they were super cool. It was like the trending creative LED product on the market. And just to kind of give you guys some scope, this thing stood at 40 feet tall and was about 70 feet wide, 70 to 80 feet wide in total. And it was just absolutely enormous. It took 4 hours to be able to construct it on site. It took a week and a half to construct in the shop before time. And I ended up mapping all of that with a product called Catalyst, which was, kind of earlier on in those days. So yeah,
awesome.
Kind of fun.
Hey, Christy says, awesome. I love that. And we said, Vincent says hi. Brett is, noticed that you were shamelessly exploiting your daughter.
Yes, I am shamelessly exploiting her.
Child labor. That's how we get it all done.
She deserves to be exploited. Hey, Vincent, welcome back.
She loves it. So I see one more sponsor. Hey, good to see you again. You guys are awesome. We're at one more sponsor. All right. So that leads us to today, though.
All right, today.
And now, first off, before I ask you about Ahead of the Curve, just for the record, officially, hello, beautiful. That's really you that put that on the wall, isn't it? You wanted that, not me, right? Is that your softer side?
Yeah, it's my softer side. Is what I say. It's actually for me to build points with you.
Oh, is that it? Aw.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't working.
No. We'll see what happens after the show.
No, Hello Beautiful is actually part of my brand. He takes over my office studio once a week.
Yep.
And this is where I record all of my, I teach online organizing and productivity. And this is where I tend to teach people. And the Hello Beautiful was already there. And we started ahead of the curve very quickly. So we started it with the Hello Beautiful still on the wall, and it's just kind of still there. So tell us in the comments what we should put on the wall for, for the live shows for Geoff instead of Hello Beautiful. I think he probably needs something different. Let us know what you think.
We've been talking a lot about virtual production, and I've been talking to or speaking to a few companies, maybe a few people that have been on the show.
We're not putting a green screen up permanently in my office.
Oh, come on.
Nope, not happening.
Well, I'm hoping to be able to do one of these episodes sometime in the near future in XR or virtual production and get on a stage and actually like fully produce the show for a few sessions, which I think would be really, really cool. And also do some behind the scenes show and tell of how extended reality works and some of the virtual production works.
See, Hal's asking about a gray hair count.
Less than you, Hal. Much less.
I don't know about you, Hal, but I'm pretty sure I just counted like 200, and that's right here.
Oh.
I think that it's more now.
So
this year is giving you a lot of gray hair.
This isn't supposed to be the Shame Geoff show.
Yeah, it is. That's how I promoted it. It's all about shaming Geoff.
So we're going to do Geoff shaming now.
I pick on Geoff all the time.
Feel free to post in the comments.
Of course, I have no gray hairs because I just colored mine. I see. Let's virtualize the wall. That must be Christy saying she wants to virtualize the wall. XR wall would be amazing.
See?
It
We're gonna
would.
do that.
We need to
It's gonna
talk about
happen.
what that
I know
would do to my
there's a
office.
few people here. I think Vincent can give me a hand.
What would my office look like? We'll have to discuss. This might be like a counseling moment.
Let's not go there. All right.
But really, we did start ahead of the curve very quickly. Can you tell them why officially? I don't know if you've ever told the
short nutshell version of Ahead of the Curve. I was late, just like very, like a lot of people, I was laid off relatively quickly on short notice due to our wonderful situation of COVID. And I was trying to find different ways to be able to, support us and continue some sort of revenue stream, but also feed back into our community because all of these trade shows had canceled and these events were canceling left, right, and center. People were starting to kind of state that they were out of work. The whole live events industry kind of fell out. And I felt like there was really a need and a place to be able to share some of these experiences and be able to share some of these stories with people inside of our industry, about our transition and about our kind of making our way through these times and bringing some really great guests on the show to speak about a lot of these new emerging technologies that are coming out and, to also kind of breathe some hope and some faith into the people that are watching these conversations and, just kind of bring up some of these different interesting ideas that are kind of happening right now and, try to share some joy and some passion and some love about what's kind of been going on these last few months. So
yeah, I remember at the beginning you were really scared about what was going on in your industry, and
yeah, it was terrifying. I mean, I think a lot of people on here could probably relate about like how crazy messed up it was back in definitely like April, May when things really started to kind of kick in.
Yeah,
everybody just kind of like froze up and we're just kind of thinking, what do we do now?
And then I'm stuck with him home all the time all of a sudden. He goes from traveling 3 weeks a month to being home every single day.
It sucks for her.
Yeah.
She's never had me home this much, like ever.
No, I wasn't sure if I liked you that much, I guess. And thank goodness it
I'm
turns out I do.
I'm still not too sure how much I like you.
Well, there's that. We'll see by the end. In about an hour, this might be different. But no, it turns out I still really enjoy having you around. It'll be hard to have you traveling again when things open up. But I also remember you were going nuts about missing the connection with the people.
I was.
Because you loved talking with the people in the industry and learning more about the industries, just
absolutely
creating new ideas and discussing, the future concepts and everything. And so I believe, if I may say so, it was me who pushed you to stop just panicking and do something you'd be really good at, which is talking with people and just conversing and enjoying people and connecting with your industry, hence the live show.
Yep. And that's kind of how it all came to be. I think we're going to, once everything opens back up again, and for those of you who attend LDI, we'll do a Ahead of the Curve live session at the Circle. Well, it's not going to be the Circle Bar anymore, but wherever we end up, but there'll be more alcohol involved and it might get much more sloppy.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thanks, Vincent.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I get to finally meet. I'm in the background each episode. You don't see me, but I'm over at my desk right in the other corner of the room, and I'm the one making sure that the comments go on the screen and sometimes screwing those up.
She's even doing it right now.
I'm doing it right now. I've got my little magic pad for my Mac. And let me know, okay, we need a vote. What's better, PC or Mac? Because this is definitely
let's not even go there.
Fight in our house.
It's both, really. I mean, I've even got a Mac now.
We're converting them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's been nice actually virtually meeting a lot of the people that he talks about and that seeing all the different things. Yeah. Oh, RIP Circle Bar. Yeah. Even I've had fun there.
Yes, you have.
Yeah. I go on trips with him sometimes, and it's been great. Hi, Allison.
Nothing but trouble in that place.
See, Mark said the experiential angle aspect is good and goes beyond the add a temperature tablet or use Zoom advice out there.
Yeah, it definitely does. There's so much changing and evolving right now, and just yeah, right now, like the way that we communicate is changing so rapidly. I mean, my whole morning, like all of my mornings actually, are stuck in front of a video camera. Going from meeting to meeting to meeting, and
the boring stuffing meetings, not like a chat with people either.
Yeah, but
you don't get to like brainstorm and converse as much. It's more of a on purpose and focused and businessy.
It is, but there's just so much more opportunity, I think, that's there to kind of open that up and make it more interactive. And companies are trying to do that, but I think there's still a long ways to go.
You have to create holograms.
They're working on it.
But just for the waist up, because we don't want to have to start wearing pants. It's been nice not having to worry about our pants. I'm wearing pants, just so you know. I dressed up for you all today.
I might not be.
Chet says that the Hello Beautiful should stay, by the way.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm good with
surprises that should become a feature.
I think we might map it, though.
There you go.
Might soup it up a little bit.
Make it fancy. Chance meetings, random connections are lost. That's so true. Like, there's a very different feel when you're just on video.
You know what, Mark? I got a good solution to that. Just randomly video chat, the next person on your list right now. We could just start random video conversations just like phone calls.
Right.
It'll be great. You really want to catch people in the moment. Why not?
Oh, and I love the circle bar talk. We have a vote for Mac, by the way. Yeah. Christy's voting Mac.
We're going to start a poll in a minute.
So can you tell me a little bit about what you want ahead of the curve to do for people, and kind of what is the passion that it is transformed into? Because when we first started, it was one thing.
Yeah, it really was. Like,
gotten his personality now.
We kind of evolved it from what I thought would be more like a show, interviewing people, to what it is right now, more of an interactive, conversational kind of moment where we can just openly and freely talk about, well, just about anything, really. But trying to keep a focus around, our industry again, and talking about these different moments and projects and things that people are working on that are really kind of changing the way that people work right now, and kind of changing the way that we experience things. Because I think a lot of people are still very much interested in, what is going to lie ahead and how things are going to be kind of once we come through all of this. So I like to have, it kind of continue along those lines in those conversations, but also be a place just to bring, it's kind of become a little bit of a sense of community, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're talking circle bar today,
something that's consistent, and having a place like what we're doing right now and where we are right now, where we can just freely, openly discuss.
It's like an afternoon happy hour.
Yeah, it's like an afternoon happy hour
industry.
For like 45 minutes, and just starting off with a topic and seeing where we go from there.
Yeah, and I love it because like one of the things that you used to love to do is just sit and chat, of course, about all of the new ideas and technologies and how they could be applied in different ways and brainstorm. And you're missing out on that by not being able to go to the circle bar or wherever and just chat with all the people. So this is kind of, we need to rename this virtual circle bar.
I've actually got a question for the tech guys and folks and gals that are watching right now. It's been a hard year for like just about everything. It's been an especially hard year to actually see if there's anything new that's really kind of eye-catching technology-wise. So if you guys have seen anything really cool
or if you're
recently, or if you're working on something cool, love to hear about it. If you've been playing around with some new devices or stuff that's been coming out, that would be really, really interesting to hear about. I love that stuff, right? And I always try and stay ahead of the curve on all this new technology that's coming out.
It's like it's crack.
And, yeah, it's like crack.
It's technology.
You guys don't want to see my office. It's not good.
There's a reason we shoot in mine. Yeah. I don't think this would fit.
I got everything everywhere. No, it's not bad.
But yeah, let us know in the chat if there's something cool, what's on the horizon and just coming out, because you love that stuff. But yeah, we need to rename this like the circle bar chat or something.
Yeah, we got to be careful with that though.
That's true. That is true. It's a daytime live chat.
It's a daytime live chat. It's not a nighttime live chat. Andrew, be planning on it, man. We'll be in touch very soon.
Awesome. So for the future with the live also, I believe the goal is to make sure that it stays more of a chat and conversation rather than any kind of a presentation.
Yeah.
And to really get to know each other, and for people to get to meet each other that might not have normally crossed paths too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the whole idea too is there's a Facebook group that we created. I haven't been as active in it lately as I should be, but I really kind of wanted to make that like a green room kind of place, or an area where people can just kind of go in and meet. So I've created the group. It's under the Ahead of the Curve Facebook page for anybody that's doing Facebook. And I've invited all of our past guests into that group. So if you want to meet them, if you want to continue a conversation or a sidebar, you know, that's kind of what the purpose is.
Or even just chat.
And just chat. Yeah.
Tell us about
whatever.
Hello Beautiful signs and whether you like a Mac or PC over in there. It's like the chill out place.
Yeah, it's kind of the chill out place. And I also wanted to really make this more of a platform as well for you guys as much as me. I mean, I just kind of feel like I'm just being here to support the conversations, but I really love the aspect and the idea of it being interactive. And, you know, I want to bring on people and guests into the conversations that you guys want to hear about as well. So I would love to have the input of maybe some speakers or some guests that you guys might really want to hear from.
What are your favorite kind of guests to have on? Or
my favorite guests are...
Not specific people, of course, because they're all his favorite. That's what he tells me.
Exactly.
They're like his children.
I mean...
You like people who are doing like interesting new things?
Well, of course. I mean, that, you know, kind of like people that are always doing interesting new things is kind of you know, part of Ahead of the Curve. But I really enjoy the stories, and I enjoy hearing about the experiences that people have had. And, you know, I've always been really interested in both the success stories and the failures, right? Like, we've all been there before. We've all had flops in our times and in our industry and what we've done. I could definitely remember a few times where everything just went haywire in the middle of a live performance, and it's crazy stressful. And I've also had designs that I've created that just didn't work, you know, like
the design flops.
Yeah.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah, definitely had design flops, or coming up with these awesome ideas that at least that you think they're awesome ideas, and then pitching them to the client, and the client's like, that's a big bag of crap, you know? Like, what are you thinking?
Makes us all feel better when you know that we're not the only ones flopping
feel so
sometimes.
good about it, and you get in there and you're like, oh, this is so awesome. I can't wait to be able to do this. And you're so sure that the customer or the client's going to sign off on it. And then all of a sudden it's just like crap.
Yeah.
Like the client hates it. I have a ton of revisions to do. And
so life stories from your industry is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like the reality, the ups and downs of all of it.
Oh, Tim, awesome. Yeah, we really enjoyed having you on as well. I mean, the information.
Yeah, that was a really fun one.
Yeah, that was super, super fun. Talking about a lot of the tech and the stuff in retail. I mean, I've always had a huge passion in that too, and everything. Bye, Sally. See you, buddy. Be on the lookout for a package. It'll be there soon. And
Hal's definitely one of the BFFs that from Canada of Geoff's.
Yeah, so Hal again has been a lifetime friend. Yeah, I've known Hal since I was like in elementary school, and we've stuck together very, very tightly for, well, all of these years. I mean, I've known him now for 30.
Hal's a part of you. Noah's a part of you.
Yeah, like
AJ's a part of you. There's all these people that
I don't want to give my age away,
awesome.
But you know, like 30 plus years. So
how is that possible? You're only 21.
That's right. 21 forever.
So
ignore the gray hairs and the wrinkles.
One of the things that I noticed is you wrote our names as Susie and Geoffrey.
Yep.
Instead of Suzanna and Geoff. What are your other nicknames that I call you that are appropriate?
Man, did you really have to
appropriate for daytime Facebook? There's a couple we probably won't mention.
All right, Vincent, we're going to get to that in a minute. But
yeah,
yes,
we've got swag.
Yes,
Vincent,
we've got
actually.
swag.
Yeah, and we might make some new swag based on what's my favorite nickname for you?
One of her favorite nicknames for me is Moose Pie.
I think we need some AOTC
Moose
antlers.
Pie. Yeah,
he is my Moose Pie.
She calls me Moose Pie.
So you feel free to call Geoff Moose Pie.
Great.
He loves it.
She calls me some other choice names once in a while as well.
We can't say those on Facebook at 1 o'clock. It's probably not good.
Probably
this is daytime
not a good
TV,
idea.
right?
Yeah, but, yeah.
Mostly Moose Pie.
Just like anybody else, I'm sure that every single partner, we all have these little lovely little nicknames. I call her Pop Tart.
He does call me Pop Tart, which I think is cute. Those are some of our early names. And I know, Vincent asked about some AOTC swag. We do have swag, actually.
I just ordered some samples.
Actually, this is regular swag, but I really think we need moose hat with AOTC logo as swag. Do you think they can do that with antlers? I'm thinking it should be a thing, or maybe a Hello Beautiful.
Do you guys think we should have an antler hat
with Jeff's
Do you think
face?
We should have a moose antler AOTC hat? We could probably make that happen.
I think that would be awesome. But yes, if you are interested in swag, though, there's actually some awesome hoodies and stuff, and the shirts.
Yep, super soft.
Yeah, so we did just to kind of support the show.
Yeah,
to help pay the basic bills for the live streaming software and the email service, all those basics.
And blah, blah, blah,
so yeah, if you get a chance, then you can totally. We would love it if you could be our hero, and just support us, even $5, whatever you got. Then that would be super awesome. But you could get swag too if you wanted to. You don't have to get swag. If you don't want the sweatshirt, we won't make you wear it.
Or a t-shirt or whatever.
Christy says Tim Nash. Oh, the Tim Nash show was one of her favorites.
Oh,
it's a really good
awesome.
one.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Tim, you did great. I enjoyed that one too. I could see them all, which is nice. Vincent says, for Christmas, why not? Here we go. Everybody gets EOTC swag in their stocking.
With antlers.
With antlers.
My
there
shirts,
we go.
Yeah.
I don't know this today. Okay, that's another thing with Geoff. So one of the things that many of you know, but some of you might not know about Geoff is we are.
I get mugged by AOTC.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Christy. Get mugged this Christmas.
Oh, we're going to start a new campaign with that one.
But one of the things about Geoff and me is that we are addicted to board games, and we spend way too much time in the evenings and weekends playing board games. But on this shirt, I customized this shirt. So it's got a little...
it's got a D20, if you guys know what that
die.
is. Yeah.
Got meeple.
Got meeples.
Little meeples. There's a whole storyline on the back because I messed up and I did an iron-on wrong. There's a flamingo.
A flamingo.
But yeah, so I've got this little 42. This is one of his funkier, crazier shirts because I totally ironed on random little board game and nerd references on his shirt. But Geoff and I both love fun shirts.
Yes, we do.
And I've been actually we give each other shirts, funny T-shirts.
I've been kind of hanging on to the board game kind of tropical theme, I think, since we started.
You've been very Hawaiian lately.
Yeah, definitely.
COVID made him Hawaiian shirt guy.
Turned into Hawaiian.
He's turned into a 60-year-old man.
Hal would beg. Yeah, I was just about to say Hal would beg. It's due to age.
Yeah.
Allison
says, "Huzzah! Board games. Yes, we're absolute board game nerds. We love it. That's why we can't actually shoot these in Geoff's office because it's so full of board games. There's no space." And Christy says flamingos rule. I'm a flamingo girl. I flock people for fun.
She's been a flocker.
My best friend and I used to own a flock of over 100 plastic flamingos, the lawn ornaments, and in the middle of the night we would put all of them on a friend's lawn and flock them. So that's where the flamingos
came from. It was actually super fun. It was fun. I brought everybody
Geoff.
Really loved it.
Yeah.
When
One of our first
up the next day
dates. I brought you flocking.
You did.
Yeah, I think it was the third or fourth date. And he's still stuck around, which is
flocking
impressive.
and car
saran wrapped.
Redecorating.
I saran wrapped my goddaughter's car when she turned 18, and so she could not open the doors. It was all saran wrapped all around the car. It was really fun.
I thought of doing a troubleshooting quartet game.
Awesome.
I think that would be super fun.
But yeah, so what is your favorite weird, fun shirt?
That's a good question. I like really subtle things. I like wearing shirts and things that I always tell her this, but I like things that are smart. And smart could be, you know, like little subtle nuances in shirts. So there's a black and white one that I wear that Disney created that's for
It's the pattern of the Haunted Mansion wallpaper.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and unless you really looked at it, you wouldn't really know what it was. So
you like
it's super
mashups
fun.
too.
I love mashups. Yeah, I love these
nerd worlds
mashups
collide.
Yeah.
Love those t-shirts.
Yeah,
like
I was thinking
Calvin
about
Hobbes
doing
and
that
Dr.
for our
Who
industry too, like mashup shirts.
Ooh, there's
with
your
different
swag.
brands and
That'd be fun.
You know, different products. I think that would be super fun.
That'd be super fun. Oh, there's a swag idea for you.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. But awesome. So make sure if you do want to find out anything from Geoff, you know, it can be industry related, or you could be trying to embarrass him. You know which one I prefer. Feel free, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
And after the show, even if you're catching this on the replay, then one of us will try to answer in the comments as well if you're watching the replay. But let us know. Christy says yes, and please add flamingos.
Done.
Flamingos should be everywhere. It's our what's it called when they have the little stuffed things in the when a brand has like a animal or something. What's it called, people?
A mascot?
Yeah, there we go. Mascot.
Okay.
My brain's going, you know. So, what is the
Should
most...
I be afraid?
Always, you know. Well, one of the things I always tell him is fear lasts longer than love.
Yeah.
And so try to keep him a little scared all the time.
It works.
What is one of the most interesting things going on in the technology field that you are looking forward to for the future? Like something that you think could be applied differently or that might change the industry or...
So there's two things. One of them is the whole idea of LiDAR technology and computer vision becoming more and more accessible. It's kind of scary at the same time because you can literally volumetrically scan just about anything these days and be able to replicate anything in 3D, but it also opens up a whole different realm of what we'll be able to do in the future.
Like what?
Like being able to create virtual worlds really easily that are actually even photorealistic, you know, like literally, let's just say going into Venice, Italy, and being able to volumetrically scan the entire city and be able to explore different parts of the city in real time. Or using these technologies like for us inside of some of the stuff that we do, technologically is really challenging and very difficult to do. A lot of it relying on very complicated, you know, maybe algorithms or complicated calibration techniques. And some of this stuff is going to help be able to just do that a lot easier and make it a lot easier to be able to do. And then, of course, the other stuff that really excites me is, you know, the whole world of being able to do a lot of video work and artwork in real time. And it's always been like a huge passion. And seeing these gaming engines advance so quickly and seeing these different creative tools advance to the point where everything is being done on the fly, more or less. And, you know, it's really exciting because we're actually going to be able to engage a lot more with these experiences. We're going to be able to engage with technology more. I remember mentioning this a while ago to quite a number of people. One of the things that really excited me when I was working with Real Motion was trying to build a system that could react to the ways that people reacted as they were watching or experiencing something.
Cool.
So like if you're in the midst of a concert and all of a sudden all the audiences pull out a lighter, for example, and start waving it in the air, then the computer can go, oh, you know, there's this mood happening and people have got their lighters out. So I could throw content up on the screen that kind of symbolizes the mood of the audience during the time, and having content, you like literally be reactive and adapt to the mood. So, you know, I think that's kind of like one of the golden grails for a lot of us is even in a theme park, you know, one of the challenges for creating these rides and these experiences, of course, is to have people get on them and ride them again, right? So what if you could get into a Harry Potter ride and never experience the same thing twice? like
That'd be cool.
have different
Especially Harry
encounters
Potter.
with like
Harry Potter.
have different encounters with different creatures, or have different encounters with,
based on what you do. Like
based on the
you
actions
do the
that you
Aloha
take.
Mora wand wave.
See?
Then the computer knows, and it can do.
Yeah, but even stuff like, turning your head in a certain direction, or screaming at a certain moment, or, like being able to read facial expressions and be able to kind of base things off of your mood and how you react. And
that can also create better rides because they can tell what people are engaged in.
Yeah, and even from a safety perspective, like they could actually monitor your safety and be able to.
Don't stand up. Don't put your arms over.
But I think that's going to be like the next step, really, inside of live entertainment. I think it's going to be. I think it's got a lot of legs when we get into just about all kinds of markets, like retail, experiences, and concerts for sure. Like being able to just judge the mood and gauge the energy in the audiences, and be able to have really kind of an AI react and create these experiences, while you're there, because it's going to be unique. And
that'll make shows better and better as they figure out what people are interested in, and I think so, reacts and all that. Cool.
And another thing I think that really kind of gets me, is I was just about to say, Grant, is the analytics side of it. Analytics, I think, are, again, it's the gateway to information to figure out what works and what doesn't, ultimately, right? And what we like and what we don't like.
To make better experiences and better
products. There's two sides, and it's just like everything else, right? So we get the whole side of the people that want to exploit the information, which is, what this is kind of like those people that do things to not allow anybody else to do things because they go and exploit it and screw it all up. But on the flip side, data analytics and being able to collect that information, I think, is an absolutely vital way to be able to gauge how people are experiencing things during those moments of time. Of course, it's used heavily right now in retail and the retail spaces, but it would be great to be able to use those analytics as well inside of live events, instead of going and experiencing an experiential event or something along those lines, where...
like the Annapolis Film Festival is asking, what would that do for film viewing experience? How would that impact that? That's kind of cool. Yeah. That'd be a unique application.
I would think that
it'd be more like the 360 type of film, be able to bring in that, or what would you do?
If you look at it from a story perspective, and you look at it, let's just say from a viewing perspective, as an audience member watching a film, or experiencing a moment, let's just say even for the first time, there have been a lot of times where there have been closed screenings, and kind of times where people will be brought in to experience something as a use case group, to be able to see how they react. But if you use something like analytics, let's just say for a film, where you can put a camera, say a forward front facing camera, in front of the audience, you can start to gauge their reactions during certain moments of watching a film,
and
or watching
attention,
a piece.
Probably.
And intention, and
whatever their attention
you'd be able
span
to be able to gauge that, and and definitely attention span. I mean, that's another huge one these days, right? And you'd be able to gauge that and be able to use that to be able to adjust those moments, or let's just say, quote unquote, perfect those moments. Where you've got the highest impact for the engagement, for the experience.
Andrew asked about, with analytics, do we run the risk of getting cookie cutter shows that are trying to just go mainstream? Do you think it makes it more bland and everybody will be the same? Or do you think that it gives us more insight and allows us to create more?
So the way that, that's a really great question, Drew. That's a really good question. Again, I guess a thought on that would be that you can't use analytics. Analytics have to be ongoing. That data has to be looked at in an ongoing basis. And of course, as we look at different cultures and the way people react globally, we all absorb things in different ways. And that could be our cultural upbringing. That could be our, we were just brought up.
We see it happening right now already with, like advertising and shows and all of that on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, right now it's already happening, where you see the people who are trying to just all do the same thing that worked, but then there's the innovators who stand out,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You always get like the whole crowd doing it, and then you get the innovators who like really can make a next leap forward.
I feel like
kind of always that way, right?
it's again, it's dynamic.
says
It's
both.
like dynamic analytics. So being able to be agile and being able to analyze that information, you know, maybe not on a daily basis, but being able to analyze that information on an ongoing basis to make those changes and adaptations as you are, and innovate. New ways. I mean, that's going to be one of the interesting things as AI becomes more mainstream especially inside of our industry, because it's kind of just being touched upon, but it's not really being used heavily for creating experiences as a whole. But, you know, though, I think that information is going to help, and those libraries are going to help be able to, you know, generate better experiences as we move forward and custom tailor those experiences, which I think is going to be really important.
And of course, Andrew just brought up what we all think as soon as we talk about data collection and monitoring this is the whole, you know, what is the worst case scenario and protecting ourselves with having that much data collected. So there is truth to that, right?
There's definitely truth to that.
Are there ways that we can collect the data without really stepping on privacy toes, as far as maybe not attaching it in any way to something identifiable for the person as an individual, just kind of as a group?
I think that's a great question.
That's right.
Privacy is a tough one. I mean, it's been tough for everybody everywhere. We, as technology users, every single one of us, you know, we're signing waivers, basically releasing our rights for privacy everywhere we go.
I mean, you're all on like
social
LinkedIn
media
or
platforms,
YouTube
LinkedIn,
or Facebook
wherever,
right now, right? So we've all signed away some of it.
Underlying policies, and there's all underlying agreements that relinquish our own personal rights to some of the privacies that we have.
We just need to make sure that we know. I wish they'd make it clearer what you're giving away without burying it in a privacy policy and such.
Grant, I would absolutely agree that we have to think of it as a tool at the low end to be used to facilitate those levels, for sure.
Yeah.
And then definitely automating the mundane tasks, because let's be serious, who wants to continue doing those, right?
There's swag. We're back to swag.
We're back to swag.
AOTC
so now,
tinfoil hats.
Tinfoil hats we have to create, and moose hats, if there's a takeaway from this show.
I think we might need to give royalties to Andrew off the tinfoil hats.
I think that'd be awesome. We're going to make some tinfoil hats.
Said faith and Zuck. Yeah. I think we do. I think the big thing is I wish that we, as creators and people implementing this, the more you can be clear about what you're collecting and how you're using it and how you're protecting it, I think that's one of the ways to help people feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I also think that, you know,
so ditch the whole.
I also think that transparency is really important. Like, I don't know about for you guys, but for me, when I work for companies and I work in general, I really appreciate transparency about how things are going, you know, how the companies are doing, whatever.
You know, don't bury it in a long document.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I mean, even if a concert, if you're going to go to a concert and they're going to be using video cameras to shoot you, or they're going to be using, I should not use that word, but if they're going to be using,
I don't want to go to that concert. To record
you, or they're going to be using devices to be able to analyze you, then there should be upfront a waiver, or at least a piece of information that says, hey, by coming into this concert, we're going to be doing this.
The thing is, but there needs to be a summary, I think, at the beginning of the waiver of the important points, and then scroll down if you want to read more about them, because that's the problem. You sign these waivers, but most of the time you're not reading them because they're 10 pages long and hard to understand.
That's such a tough topic, because there's really
we do need to be transparent.
There's really no great solution for it. But again, I think transparency would help a lot if companies were just upfront about the data that they're collecting, the way that they're going to use it. And kind of just have you sign off so that you know what you're getting into when you start.
Easy transparency, clear transparency. But Brett says counterintelligence with face paint.
That's so true.
We really could design a whole line to like fool all this stuff. So basically, what we do is we just design all of these things that can track and analyze, and then we create a whole line of products to avoid being tracked.
Yeah, so I've always thought that there's different ways to do that too. You know, like I
context
thought something that was really thought something that was really cool back in the earlier days of augmented reality, when augmented reality was just starting to kind of come into the market. Companies were using QR codes, and designers were using QR codes to be able to allow a camera to know that it has to augment something in that space, basically as a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
But we've seen QR codes being used in all kinds of different interesting ways. And I still think that there's actually a place for that. Like, even from a privacy perspective, maybe there's a QR code or something that a camera could pick up and go, oh, okay, well, this is the information that this person's allowing me to have, you know, or something along those lines that you can use to track really easily.
So yeah, that would actually,
just an idea.
That would be interesting. I don't know how that would work. That would be very complex,
Well,
but there's probably technology that
there's
can
computer
start to do
vision
it.
now too. Computer vision's just come so far that a lot of these cameras can, again, pick up your face, but we're trying to avoid that. So if there's another thing that they could pick up that might not be your face, they can say, hey, all right.
Yeah, like Grant said, a data collection reform.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that would be kind of that centralized place where you
that's
could.
going to happen one way or another eventually.
That'd be really nice. Set it in one place. This is what you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
But then they'll probably want to tattoo barcodes on us.
Well.
And then there it all goes again. Now we've been tagged.
You've already tagged me.
Yeah, I have.
I've got a microchip somewhere. I'm sure of it.
I didn't think you noticed. You cannot disappear. Oh, well, we're about to wrap up. It has been a lot of fun, actually. Is there anything else that you wanted to tell people before we do wrap up?
Well, I just, again, I want to tell everybody how great this experience has been. I never thought that we were going to come where this far, and I never thought that this was going to be where it is now. And it's been an amazing experience with you. It's been a great journey week after week, having you guys part of these conversations. And I really hope to continue moving forward, bringing some really interesting topics and conversations, you know, ahead.
We've got some cool people lined up.
Yeah, and I love the organicness of it, and I love telling you all to stay ahead of the curve every week.
Yeah, over and over. Oh, you're so welcome, Tracy. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy. Yeah, it's our absolute
good seeing you,
pleasure.
Brett. So
this
awesome.
has been so much fun too. I mean, it's just been so great having you all here with us today, and you know, having members and guests the past shows joining us with the conversation today, and
past events.
It's just been a lot of fun. It's been great.
Yeah, this is really nice. And finally you get to see, you know, who's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm usually back there.
Who's ripping her hair out every week and yelling at me for not posting last minute marketing materials.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, well, before we go on, actually, that was one of my questions that I was going to ask you. What do you think is one of the quirks about you that that people probably already know, but maybe if they don't, they should know? What would I point out as one of the endearing? It's endearing.
I'm really
but
corny.
I laugh at you.
I really love corny jokes. Like almost the cornier, the better. Again, my friend Hal that was on here a little bit earlier is very punny, and my whole family is very punny.
Mine too.
And when they get going, it's just really, really ridiculous. But I love corny little moments. I also love those moments where you think something might have gone over somebody's head, or you might be talking about something, and the person that you're speaking to thinks you're speaking about one thing, but you're really talking about another. And it kind of, so,
well, I was thinking of, you know, how he mixes up common sayings all the time. Like you do it if you watch the episodes. We should have a prize for whoever finds the most
Jeffisms.
Mixed Jeffisms.
She calls them Jeffisms.
Like today, one of them was, you know, the Golden Grail instead of the Holy Grail.
The Golden Grail.
You know, there's Golden Key, and half of my time with Geoff is spent trying to figure out which two he just combined. He's like a walking mashup of all of these, and it makes me laugh. So I'm always trying to figure out which two you just combined into one that does not quite fit. You know, it always makes me laugh. That's one of his quirks that you guys will notice if you've not already.
Being Quebecanese, as you say.
Quebecanese, yeah.
Yeah, living in a French Canadian part of the world for a majority of my life.
Tracy says, how about a guest appearance from your
never
family?
quite learned how to speak English properly.
No, he speaks Springlish. We could bring James on.
Yeah, my brother is amazing.
His brother, he's got two brothers. They're both amazing for different reasons.
Yeah,
but James plays piano like a.
If you guys want, a treat,
you should post in the group. Why don't you post a little clip?
I think I will.
Of the amazing James.
Yeah, check out my brother.
Yeah,
James. It's James Platt.
He's gonna wonder why all of a sudden he has all these friend requests.
But he does a lot of covers on the piano.
Yeah.
He
self-taught.
Completely self-taught. Yeah, and he's amazing. He's amazing to hear. Very talented.
Yeah.
He also does requests too. So there's a song that you want him to cover. He'll actually.
There you go.
Cover it and post it.
Yeah. You'll have to post in the group. Post one of the videos.
Absolutely.
In the head of the Curve group. But perfect. Well, why don't you tell us who, speaking of amazing people to have on the show, who's next week?
Next week, we have Heather Gallagher on the show. And she worked for 17 years as the lead technologist for Burning Man. So we're going to be talking about some of the experiences that she's had over the last 17 years in working in technology for Burning Man. She's also been working a lot in XR and AR and doing a lot of things creatively within those different technologies. So we're going to have her on the show next week.
That's awesome.
Which will be that'll be really
Talk about
cool.
Stories. She has to have some serious stories. Burning Man.
Oh man, it's Burning Man. If you guys haven't experienced Burning Man, I'm sure you know what it is. And there's definitely going to be some stories told, I'm sure, next week.
And we should probably throw in some dad jokes. That's my dad right there. Hey, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
Jeff's father-in-law.
Yeah.
But awesome. And as Vincent mentioned, we do have Christmas gifts for all of your family. If you would like, grab yourself some swag from AOTC. Give it to everybody in their stockings. You can do that.
You could, yeah.
But it would really be helpful if you want to support us to help us keep AOTC growing and keep connected. Then be our hero at AOTC.1/hero, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
absolutely.
Above all, we hope that you check us out next week at 1 p.m. and always be
ahead of the curve.
Bye. Have a wonderful day.
Have
We will
a great
see
afternoon,
you next
everyone.
week. Thank you.